Hello, hello, lovely listeners.
All of you ghouls and goblins.
And everything in between. Welcome to Across the Veil with Zelda.
And Emma.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
Or should I say, Happy Squonksgiving.
What? Squonksgiving?
This is an episode I've been very excited to do for a very long time.
I've been very excited to hear about it because it sounds like it's going to be a time.
Oh, yes. I'm just gonna hop right into it.
Squonk right into it?
I'm gonna squonk right into it, baby. Ooh, that's not something you want someone to ever say, but I just did, right into your ear.
It's squonk-a-clock, ladies.
Squonk-a-clock.
Bad ear poison.
Sorry. So this is possibly the greatest and most relatable cryptid of all time. I personally have never before identified so deeply with a creature. And I've had creatures that look like me on this podcast, but...
You have. Spooky pale ladies with dark hair, and this one you feel is
this
more you?
This is the one that encapsulates my soul. Ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between, I give you the Squonk, an elusive, pig-like creature from Pennsylvania with saggy skin covered in warts and blemishes that is so ugly and ashamed of its appearance that it spends most of its time crying and hiding out.
Oh yeah, that does sound like us.
If you happen to catch a sighting of a Squonk, most likely it'll dissolve into a puddle of tears and bubbles, because he literally melts from the embarrassment of having someone see him.
Oh man, yeah, that's me without my eyeliner.
If I don't have my eyebrows done,
Squonk time.
I dissolve. I'm out. Peace. Puddle of tears. Can't find me. I'm hiding. Here's some Squonk information for you. Like our friend, the Bukatima monkey man, Squonks actually have a scientific name. Lacrimacorpus dissolvens, which is made up of the Latin words for tear, body, and dissolve. So its name basically means one who cries so much its body dissolves into its own tears.
Yeah. I think you would call that, it's not a wap, it's a was. A wet-ass squonk.
Ooh.
I could have not said that joke, but I decided to do it. But
you decided to put that out there in the world.
It's in the universe now.
I mean, they're always a little damp because of those tears.
They're always a little damp.
They're probably moist.
They sound moist, if I had to describe.
They're moist boys.
They're moist boys. Ugh. But I love them.
I love them too. And no matter what, Squonks are kind of real. Kind of.
What?
Yeah, kind of. So some substances are stable in solution or in some kind of other wild form, but can't be isolated or captured without catalyzing their own polymerization, which is dissolving.
So this has like scientific properties.
Oh,
like...
yeah. Yeah,
Dang,
there are
okay.
scientific properties, and these have been named chemical Squonks as a nod to the creature.
That is so fun. I love that. That's adorable.
Right? And I keep on thinking about that one kid from Sky High who could melt. And
oh my god. He squonked.
so I think he would technically classify as a Squonk. Yeah, he squonked.
I think Chemical Squonks is a really good name for a punk band.
Well, not to give away too many spoilers, but some bands might kind of agree with you.
Oh. Is this a musical episode?
We have some musical suggestions coming up, but first let me give you the history of the Squonk.
Squonkstery.
Squonkstery. You can put squonk into any word.
You can, it's great.
So squonks come from the hemlock forests of northern Pennsylvania, and legends of them probably originated in around the late 1800s, around the height of Pennsylvania's importance in the timber industry. The earliest known written account of squonks is from a book written by William T. Cox in 1910 called Fearsome Creatures of the Lumberwoods. Another man, Henry H. Tryon, also wrote about squonks in his 1939 book, Fearsome Critters, but their description is almost exactly the same. So almost all squonk information comes from these two sources, which are sort of like field guides to legendary creatures. The only difference between the two sources is that Tryon believes that squonks migrated from deserts to swamps to Pennsylvania. And it's actually fucking hilarious, like how he maps out what happened to them and why they did this. So I'm just gonna give you the exact quote from Tryon himself.
Oh, absolutely.
Their distribution was once fairly wide, the usual habitat being high plains where desert vegetation was abundant. History shows beyond dispute that as these areas gradually changed to swampy, lake-dotted country, the squonk was forced to take to the water. Of distinctly low mentality, it traveled constantly around the unaccustomed marshes in search of fodder. With time, it developed webbing between its toes, but only only on the submerged left feet. Hence, on entering the water, it could only swim in circles and never got back to shore. Fossil bones dredged from these lake bottoms revealed that thousands perished of starvation in this manner. So basically, the squonks got dicked over by swamps and were dumb, and they evolved in the worst way.
Just beyond historical dispute?
This is fact, my friend. You cannot dispute this. And also, thousands have died.
That's sad.
It's a national tragedy.
It's just so sad.
They're just so dumb.
Just so dumb.
Anyways, both Cox and Tryon agree they ended up and are exclusively in the hemlock forests of Pennsylvania and are very localized to this area. My thinking is it's probably because if they went anywhere else, they would die, because they don't do well with different areas. Branching out is not their thing. So like I said before, squonks are basically ugly, depressed little piggy boys with saggy skin and warts that cry all the time. They're literally described as the most morbid of beasts, probably the homeliest animal in the world, and knows it.
They don't even have mirrors. They just know that they're ugly. It's internalized.
Well, here's the thing. They do kind of have mirrors. So they're not big on moving around, since again, they hate themselves. They want to not only hide from people, but also they want to hide from catching a glimpse of their own reflections.
Oh, yikes.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Yeah, and so they're described as crepuscular animals. So they're most active around twilight and dusk, when they're like least likely to see their reflection, because there's no moon really hanging over them that much, there's no sun, they can't see themselves. That's when they're out and about. Anyways, here's how to catch a squonk, according to both Cox and Tryon.
Why would you want to catch a squonk?
For these guys, they wanted to hunt.
Ew.
And clearly this is the most impressive specimen you could possibly bag.
Yeah, we're gonna hunt this thing that cries and is sad all the time.
Yeah, let me just make him live in fear.
You know, this Cox guy sounds like a real dick.
Oh my god.
Hi, sorry, I'm Zelda Kimball. I'm also a 12-year-old boy with my sense of humor.
That's a joke for the ages. So here's the best way to hunt squonks according to Cox, who, as Zelda pointed out, is probably a dick. Hunters who are good at tracking are able to follow a squonk by its tear-stained trail, for the animal weeps constantly. When cornered, an escape seems impossible, or when surprised and frightened, it may even dissolve itself into tears. Squonk hunters are most successful on frosty moonlit nights, when the tears are shed slowly and the animal dislikes moving about. It may then be heard weeping under the boughs of dark hemlock trees. So literally follow the tears and the weeping and you might find a squonk. Or me.
That's how you find me.
Yeah, you might, like literally, it's a pretty simple way to track me as well. The only way to tell the difference between me and a squonk, or Zelda and a squonk, when you're hunting us and you're following the weeping sounds, is that the squonk's soft weeping, according to Cox, sounds like a low note of pleading, somewhat resembling the call of a cross-feathered snee, which I believe is another type of cryptid that I haven't looked up yet. But if you know what a snee sounds like, then you might be pretty good at catching squonks.
I love that cop-out, though, because he's like, you know, this fake creature sounds a lot like this other fake creature.
We don't know if he's fake. We don't know.
Okay, we don't know. We don't know. It might sound like a snee. You're right.
It is a cop-out. It is a cop-out.
It's such a cop-out.
You don't know what this sounds like, but I'm telling you, this is what that sounds like. And snee really does sound like a Dr. Seuss sort of John.
It's Seussian. Squonk is also a little Seussian.
So there's only one official report of a person actually capturing a squonk. Mr. J.P. Wentling, sometime in the late 1800s or early 1900s, caught a squonk by tracking its tears and mimicking the squonk's weeping, allowing him to trick the squonk into hopping into his sack. Mr. Wentling was carrying the sack, which was apparently heavy and weeping, home to show off his incredible feat of hunting, catching the mythical beast, Squonk, when suddenly the crying stopped and the bag became significantly lighter. When he got back to his house, he unslung the sack and looked inside, only to find nothing but tears and bubbles. Outsmarted by the squonk again.
Got him.
Can't catch him. Got him.
Squonk. Got him.
I have no information on whether or not the squonk just dies when he dissolves.
Like bumblebees, yeah.
Yeah, but I'd like to believe, since they're such a rare breed, that they reform.
Mm-hmm. They can slurp back up.
Yeah, exactly. Just like the kid from Sky High.
Mm-hmm.
So not only are squonks part of the cryptid world and the science world, you can find references to them in pop culture all throughout the 20th century. Most importantly, though, I have some song recommendations for you lovely people, because there are 2 songs about squonks.
Some squonk recommendations?
Some squonk tracks.
Squonk tracks.
Either way, they're fucking bangers. I wish I could put sound bites of them on the podcast, but copyright. Anyways, I'm going to tell you them so you can look them up. So Steely Dan has a song called Any Major Dude Will Tell You, where one lyric is, "Have you ever seen a squonk's tears? Well, look at mine. The people on the street have all seen better times."
Steely Dan, you get it.
He gets it. The song slaps. Then the band Genesis has a song that is literally called Squonk. And it's basically a retelling of the story of J.P. Wentling, Squonk Hunter.
Imagine those business cards. Squonk Hunter.
The name's J.P. Wentling, Squonk Hunter. I'd love to stay and chat, but there's a squonk to catch. So the song lyrics literally go, "I am a friend. I'd really like to play with you, making noises my furry little friend would make. I'll trick him, then I'll kick him into my sack. You better watch out. I've got you. You'll never get away. Walking home that night, the sack across my back, the sound of sobbing on my shoulder, when suddenly it stopped. I opened up the sack, and all that I had, a pool of bubbles and tears." And then the end of the song is actually really sad. It says, "All in you are a very dying race, placing trust in a cruel world." So it's like sad. It's like equating humanity to squonks. But I listened to both of these songs over and over again while doing my research, and I'm a big fan. My roommate literally heard me listening to them and came into the room so we could vibe to it. Like, we were vibing so hard to these squonk songs. So let's talk a little bit more about squonks in modern times, not just in pop culture. Squonks are an endangered species. Not only because they apparently accidentally drowned themselves by evolving to adapt in water in a stupid way, but also because most hemlock trees were logged by 1915, and so their range of living area has been steadily decreasing. And apparently, people are still trying to hunt my boys.
Stop that.
I know.
They're endangered.
Hunting season in Pennsylvania starts on October 1st, so it is currently literally squonk season, baby. So I was trying to find like actual photos of squonks and any real sightings that people have found. And first I came across a Google group entitled Squonk Sightings, and I got nothing except for one guy who said that he cooked and ate one, and that it tasted like bad pork, so he spit it out. He's a monster if this is true.
Somebody's got issues there.
Then I found a blog about a guy who reportedly encountered a squonk near Cedar Run, which is also in Pennsylvania. He said he heard a sobbing noise, then saw a fat, gray, bird-like animal stumbling around and crying uncontrollably. But when he got close to it, the crying stopped and it dissolved into a serpent. Neither of which are very squonk-like, but I'll take it.
Yeah, sure.
He also admitted that he drank quite a bit of whiskey beforehand, but he does seem to full-heartedly believe in squonks, because I went into the comments, and some of the people in them were like, "Squonks are those boys in the forest that you see out of the corner of your eye and then disappear." And he was like, "I'm so glad you get it."
He believes.
He believes. And it's also an interesting thing to note that the idea of the squonks being when you're out in the forest and you hear something weird near you and hear movement, and then you turn around and you see something strange and it just disappears.
Could be a squonk.
Because, anytime I've been in the forest, I've heard something weird, shuffling, turn around, no animal to be seen. Could be a puddle, could be a squonk.
Squonk.
But so that, again, leads me into whether or not the squonk is real. So a real-life cryptozoology investigator named Eric Altman, who definitely went to the same university that we went to.
Yeah, he went to college that we went to. He's an alum of our college.
We all got them real degrees.
Definitely real.
Hanging on our walls. They're there. I'm not going to show you it because it's personal.
It's part of the cryptozoological school rules is that we can't show you our degrees, kind of like we can't show you the cryptids that we have caught.
Exactly. But so Eric Altman ranks cryptids on a scale of 1, which is no chance of being proven, to 10, which is almost certain to be proven eventually. And he puts squonks at a 3 or a 4. So a very shaky maybe.
I'd say 5 or 6 just because I like the idea of, is it a puddle? Is it a rabbit that you hear, or is it a squonk when you're out in the forest?
Yeah, exactly.
But also, their whole point is to not get caught because they dissolve, so unlikely to be proven.
It makes them pretty impossible to actually catch sight of. They specifically do not want to be seen. So I could go with a 5 or 6.
Yeah, I'd say 5 or 6. But also, for people who don't believe in any cryptids ever, there've been cryptids that we now know as actual animals.
It's true. A gorilla was actually thought to be a cryptid for a long time until people proved that it was real.
Gorillas exist.
Cryptids are any animal that hasn't been proven to exist yet.
Giant squids are another example. People just hadn't explored the oceans deep enough. So who really knows what's out there?
You really don't, especially in the oceans.
Yes.
Who the fuck knows what's down there?
Who knows what's out there? It's crazy.
But yeah, I wish I could put them at a 10 Well, no, I think I could put them at a 10 because I believe in my heart I'm at least part Squonk, but I do a 5 or 6 ultimately.
Yeah.
That's the Squonk, baby.
I'd love the Squonk, our cry little pig boy.
Squonk Nation.
Squonk Nation.
Follow the tears and find the boy of your dreams.
Squonk.
Squonks put me in a weird mood.
It's a good mood, though.
So that's it, everyone. I hope you're all having a very safe and happy Thanksgiving. Emphasis on safe. Not that I don't want you to be happy, but
Emphasis on safe.
emphasis on safe.
And we're really excited because the next few weeks we're going to bring you some winter spooky creatures.
Yeah. So we hope that you'll tune in for that. But for now, we're done. So we'll see you next time across the veil.